Whatever you would have me do, I'll do the best that I can do, and offer all I do to you with all my heart, with all my heart. You give me songs my heart can sing, with light and grace each day you bring, and walk with me through everything this life does impart, this life does impart. I'm really just a flute you play. You give me all the words to say, and guide me through each night and day of time's endless rounds, of time's endless rounds. Oh, you who have stolen my heart and filled up each and every part with your love, with your name you do impart your songs, endless sounds, your songs, endless sounds. Whatever you would have me do, I'll do the best that I can do, and offer all I do to you with all my heart, with all my heart, with all my heart.
Om Madhu Bhataritayate Madhuksharanti Sindhavaha Madhvirna Shantoshadhihi Madhunaktam Utoshasi Madhumatparthivagum Rajaha Madhudaurastuna Pita Madhumanno Manaspati Madhumagam Mastu Surjaha Madhvir Gabu Bhavantu Naha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Sweet blow the winds, and the very ocean give birth forth blessedness. May the herbs and plants bring us health and happiness. Sweet unto us be the nights and dawns. May every particle of Mother Earth be charged with blessings, and may the heavens shower us with benediction. Sweet unto us be the noble forest trees. Sweet unto us be the radiant sun. Sweet unto us be all living creation. Om peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So today, our topic is very practical. In our day-to-day life, we are to find out this madhu, this honey, this joy, this blessedness, this peace. Goal of life is like that. But how to do it? We are engaged in our day-to-day action. We are very busy with our actions. And these actions are always, as we know, are very troublesome, because it brings unhappiness, brings bitterness, brings all types of conflict and confusion. So how to reach this madhu, this honey, this absolute blessedness in every moment of our life? So is there any way? Because we know we work from morning till night every day. We have no time to think of anything else. So much is the pressure of work, and so much our duties and responsibilities of life, which eats away our whole heart and soul, as it were, we are lost into that. But is there any way that we can do something, some way, being in the very busy, hectic life, enjoy the freedom, this freedom of blessedness, this freedom, this peace, this honey look, the whole universe, with the eyes open, everywhere is honey, 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 sweetness, love, blessedness, peace. How can we do that? So there is a way out. Swami Vivekananda said that people used to know that this blessedness, this God realization in another language, can be attained only by meditation and prayer and Vedantic analysis. But he said that I have created a new path. My children working for the Lord selflessly will attain the same freedom, the same experience of absolute joy or God realization by only working selflessly. So there is a power. There is a power behind any action which is done with motivation and non-motivation. There is a power. When we desire something, yes, there is some action. Action follows the desire. Desire comes in the mind. Mind then puts the impulse, will, and will comes, and then that puts into action. And whatever action we do, it has its consequence. But that consequence is either good or bad. And that good and bad are all fleeting and momentary, and it does not give permanent satisfaction. That's why, can there be a way to work, how to work without any expectation or desires, and can it give us any direction to that infinite soul, infinite self of ours? That is the desireless action. This desireless action, very word is very confusing. No? Work, action without desire. How can I desire? If I have no desire, why shall I work? If I have no desire to eat, why shall I cook? If I have no desire to see a beauty of a natural spot, why shall I make a journey and take so much trouble to visit that place? The action, there must be some desire. But what desire is not fixing the goal. Goal is to be fixed. And we have to work for that goal. But the problem is created where an expectation of the result. I did this, I expected this. But expectation never fulfilled. Then what happens? We fall into the suffering. We feel as if our life is a burden then. I worked hard, and this is the frustration we are facing every day. I wanted this, I worked this way, but it didn't happen. And then frustration comes. Where is the peace then? So, Swami Vivekananda has, in his Karma Yoga, karma and its effect on character, he has mentioned this, that all the actions that we see in the world, all the movements in human society, all the works that we have around us are simply the display of our thoughts and the manifestation of the will of man. So there is a will in a person, in us, and that manifests as the thought. What is the thought? It's simply a thought. Behind that thought is this will, and will moves us, motivate to work, and work in the society where all our actions, all our movements are prompted by that power, and that power of the display of the thoughts. So thought, I think something first, and then I get into action. But thought comes from the will. Will comes from the character. A person's character wills something to do good to the world. One person does something which is in the back of the mind, the will, and the thought is bad, the action will go in this direction. So therefore, it builds up character. Every action we do, it helps us to build up our character. And we are the product of our action, which manifests in our life. It is nothing but our character projected. Our nature is shown, a person is known by his actions. And a noble person, even in dream, they will not do any harm to anyone. Because his character is such. How the character is built? Because he has some will behind it. Our will is made out of thought. Thought is action. So action, it is rotating that cycle of the building of character, character to will to action, and this is rotating in this cycle. When the action is done with a desired motive or desired end, then we lose our freedom. Our anxiety starts. What will be the result? What will be the result? Before working, we start thinking, what will be the result? But can we give up this? What will happen? Let it happen. Let me focus on my action. Total focus on action. Not expecting anything. What will happen? That will happen. My mind should not be digressed into that. What is to be done? Put your focus, 100% focus on the action. This is the way to get out of this trouble. And whatever end comes, we say, okay, let it, accept it. If we can accept that, then life becomes blessed. When I am working, I am worry-free. I am doing my best what I can do. With all possible effort, I put and engage into the action. To reach a goal, goal is to be first fixed. And then action should be oriented towards that goal. And exercise all the potential capabilities to fulfill that mission, but not thinking, I am going to reach it. Sitting here, I will go to San Francisco. If I only think that way, and don't pay attention to my driving, and irregular driving, so so many things will happen. I will be late, I will be angry, some traffic jam happens, then you will be angry, some car comes in front of me, I will be angry with that person. So the frustration, this whole journey is a frustration. But suppose, just a simple example, suppose one is willing to go to a destination is fixed, and GPS in your hand, you know how to go, or you create your own mood to focus on the travel and focusing on the driving, and just move on and on and on. Forget that you have a goal. Just focus total attention on the action. It's a very it's a very joyful thing. Then there is no tension whether I shall achieve or not, whether I shall reach or not. I am doing my best. If it is late. If it is early. And end will come. And the desireless action, this is called desireless action. Action, desire, goal is there, but not exhausted. Our energy is not exhausted. Our mind is not directed towards the result. Before going to the destination, before, say, a student, before preparing his studies, thinking that I will get a grade A++, no? And then not paying any attention to that, and worries and anxieties. Oh, I am studying. If we pay little of our time away from the goal, what will happen? That much energy is a repressing energy which can give the freedom inside. So we can enjoy the freedom by working. And how? Desireless. This is the meaning of desirelessness. Not that I shall not have a goal. But desirelessness means while we are working, not exhausting our energy, thinking of the goal, thinking of the ideal, what am I to reach? I'll realize God. Okay, I'll realize God. Oh, I am doing 1 year is done. I am not making any progress. Meditation is not happening. And everything is becoming frustration. Why so much? Why not see goal is this? And I got this process of meditation and spiritual practice. I will do that very diligently with focused mind and give it to God. If you cannot give it to God, okay, give it to destiny. If you don't believe in God. Karma theory does not mean you need not have to have a God in it. Your karma will bring its result. So if the work is done in proper way, fully putting our attention into that work and not digressing anywhere, only putting the focus on the work, success will come, best will come. If whatever comes, comes. I am happy with that. See, at the end also happiness. While working is the happiness, that's the ananda before. And will motivation, I will do it, that will is there. And that depends on the what type of will, what type of motivation, what type is your character. You are a spiritual person, you will move on away. If someone is very evil-minded person, will find joy in destroying the peace of others. So that's also work. They work hard. The harder work they do. Those people who are always thinking how to destroy the peace of others, they work much harder. And most they are successful probably because they are desireless. Because they know there are so many obstacles. I may be or may not be able to do that. So they give up the end result. They work much faster. So we can do much better. So the point is very important, what Swamiji says, that all actions, what we are doing, we seeing in the world, every movement in human society, what we find, all the works that we have around us, they are simply, it's a thought, comes in the form of a thought. There is one person seeing some special place, say, if I had purchased this land, then I can have built a house. And this house may be like that, 6 rooms will be there, this will be all the planning. You are thinking. Thought comes first. And then thought finds its expression in action. Then you express your thought, you try to, action starts. Then procuring the plot of land. Then planning comes. Planning in your mind. You are planning. Give it to the engineer, architect. They work on that plan, line diagram, in a sketch. That is not the house. And that sketch appears to be nice. No. Remove this room from here, put it here. This veranda should be like that. The viewpoint will be like that. Change all going on in scratch, in a very fine level. No action. We cannot find that in the building construction started. It starts much afterwards. So the thought is the expression where all this manifestation comes afterwards. So very important how we think. We think we are divine, we become divine. We think we are sinner, we become sinner. So the thought is the propelling force there. So it is a force, it is a power. And that thought can be directed to manifest in the form of will. I will succeed in this, I will prove this. Machines are instruments, cities, ships, or men of war. All these are simply the manifestation of the will of man. No? People thought, I will create a men of war. I will create an instrument. I will create a new city. So these are all come in the will of the person. And this will is caused by character, and character is manufactured by karma. So very important factor is that character is manufactured by karma. So we should have to pay attention to our karma. And we all do karma. But doing karma, as I just started my discussion, that what we think that we doing karma, we are all exhausted. We are all frustrated. And we think that life is meaningless. But that if that is done without desire, desireless karma means that mind not engaged in anything but only doing what is needed to do. Gita suggests, karmani eva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. The same idea. Karmani eva, you have only right to do what is needed to be done. Karmani eva, only karma, you perform the karma as duty bound or what you think is the best to be done. That is your right. Not to think of the result of it and spoil your karma. All the time thinking and not doing anything. Action, mere without, no action, without thinking. Only thinking. No one will reach the goal. So this is the point. Karmani eva adhikaraha. You have only authority or only you have the right to do action, but not its result, because it is not in your hand. There are so many factors. To accomplish something perfectly, it has so many factors are there. The Gita on another point says that full attention should be given. It says that adhishthanam, you should have a strong body. Adhishthanam, tatha karta. Then we'll have some decision. This is the goal, I will do it. Adhishthanam tatha karta. Karanancha prithak vidham. One will have to explore all the instruments to make it success. Whatever is the goal, to reach that, you need to collect those accessories to make it perfect. Adhishthanam tatha karta. Karana means the senses and instruments. Karanancha prithak vidam. All this instrumentality, you have to accept them and you have to make it success. Try your best. Don't pay attention to anything but only on the work. You are cooking, total focus on cooking. And then end result, if before cooking is done, you all think that it will be best cooking and it will be very delicious, and only thinking of delicious cooking will not do if your attention is not in the cooking. So if salt will be double, 2 times salt, or maybe some other ingredients is not given, the food will not be so delicious. But if you forget about whether it comes good or bad, I don't care, but I am paying attention to the cooking only. With myself, 3 things are necessary. You need a body to do that work. Adhishthanam, tatha karta, I shall perform it best, in the best possible way. Tatha karta. Karanancha prithak vidam, all my sense organs, all my tools, I am applying it, focused way there. And vividhastu prithak chesta, I am trying this way, that way. Something in the process, if some problem comes, I can stop that, I can try in another method, I can apply another way to get the success. Vividhastu prithak chesta. And daiva, last of all, we'll have to give up. I tried my best, whatever happened. You call Lord's will. So these 5 factors are necessary to have a perfect completion of any action. One person must have a nice, healthy body, one. Adhishthanam, karta, and that body they say, I will do this. This conviction should be their mind. I will perform this and I will reach this end. That's determination, willpower should be there. Adhishthanam tatha karta. Karanancha, then I apply all my tools available with me. My hand, my eyes, my senses, my focus, my mind, all this in one pointed direction. Vividhas. And by different method, if I become unsuccessful in one way, then I take another, like driving. If this is the traffic is very heavy on this route, let me take an exit and find another alternative. And that will go. If that does not work, I shall take another. And 2, I will focus on my action, not on the result. And that is the success. Success of work depends on this. And that is as karma. So karma is very important in our life because most of our time goes in doing some action. Even you are sitting, that is also karma. You are not sitting idle. Your mind is thinking something. So no one can sit for a moment. Gita says, Nahi kaschit kshanamapu tishtati akarmakrit. No one can sit even for a moment without any action, because his mind is thinking something. So action, but how we can utilize this action, all these modes of action, not going to the forest for meditation and prayer. How many people have the opportunity and mind ready for that? But we are engaged in our day-to-day action, wherever we are, in our office, in our driving, in our cooking, in our home, in our doing any job, or any place we go, anywhere we do, all our actions can be made a useful tool for our liberation, for our freedom. So that is called, secret is only desirelessness. Let me read a little bit more. Swami Vivekananda explains this, that the men of mighty will the world has produced have all been tremendous workers, gigantic souls with wills powerful enough to overturn the world. No, they have the greatest willpower. Christ, Buddhas, they change the whole thought process of the world by the gigantic willpower. So and they are not. No one is sitting idle. They worked the highest work. They are, say Shankaracharya is a boy of 8 years boy, 10 years boy, 12 years, 16 years boy, moving east and west from the Himalaya to down to Kerala, length and breadth of India, walking on foot, preaching Vedanta, Buddha. How many times he moved all over the world and establishing so many of the centers of that meditation or the path for liberation. No, Buddha came. They are the gigantic willpower manifested through the action. So these world movers are like that. Such a gigantic will as that of a Buddha or a Jesus cannot be obtained in one life. So if we want to do, forget that they are gods. But if anyone wants to do that, they have also Buddha, even if you think Buddha has 500 lifetimes, previous life story we know, Jataka stories they call, no? So 500 life, he remembered what he was before, in another life what good job he did, and another life what good, all these accumulated good became a Buddha. So all our actions creating that character. So Swami Vivekananda says, millions and millions of carpenters like Joseph had gone. Millions are still living. Millions and millions of petty kings like Buddha's father had been in the world. So, what is the difference between them? Because they have the gigantic willpower. And that willpower came out of no desire, nothing. They don't want anything. Look at Buddha, look at Christ, look at Ramakrishna, look at Sri Chaitanya. What they wanted? They don't want anything in the world. They want only peace and happiness, and that is not want. That is the reality of our very life. So, and work incessantly, not thinking of the result and name, fame, power, all this which drains our energy. So, it is the accumulation of the power. The gigantic will which Buddha and Jesus threw over the world. When did it come from? It is the accumulation of a power, tremendous power. It must have been through ages and ages, continually growing bigger and bigger until it burst on society in a Buddha or Jesus form and even rolling down to the present day. So that willpower is so gigantic. They threw themselves into the world and that impact is going on, rolling down. So Buddha came 2500 years before. Its impact is still percolating the society. Christ came 2000 years over. That's also percolating the society. So they are created by gigantic willpower. Willpower is created by their karma, and that karma can be deified so that we can also have that gigantic willpower in us developed. And that will be the freedom, that will bring freedom and liberation for us. All these are determined by our work. Our karma determines what we deserve and what we can assimilate. Our karma also deserve. What we deserve, everyone is not fit for every karma. But here karma is not necessarily that higher or lower. But whatever karma we do with perfection, end result will be peace. Sweeping the floor, if it is done with proper attention, there is a deep satisfaction. Putting the things in order, there is a joy in it. Only joy of that satisfaction, I put things in order. So doing the work, whatever we are doing, with one-pointed focus, that itself has its own reward, and that reward of blessed peace inside. So our karma determines what we deserve and what we can assimilate. We are responsible for what we are and whatever we wish ourselves to be. We have the power to make ourselves. We are the maker of ourselves. What we are the result of our past actions, and what we will be, it is the result of our present action. It will lead to that. So we are the makers of our own fortune. We say, God has done this to me. Why God is creating this suffering for me? A karma theory, they will say, don't bring God here. It is you. You have built your future, because you did certain karma, and that has brought it this way. You do the karma this way, it will change it. You can make the change. You can transform yourself in your character, a divine character. That's why Swami Vivekananda says that life should be moving from lower truth to higher truth to higher truth. So we are making our destiny, we are making our life what we want to be. We want to be free, then we have to know how to do this work without expectation and making our life miserable. So to willpower, to create a willpower, noble willpower and noble character. If what we are now has been the result of our own past actions, it certainly follows that whatever we wish to be in future can be produced by our present action. So we have to know how to act. Vivekananda says, we need to know how to act. We all work, but how to work. And work is the physical thing, how we think. What is your motivation behind it? See, we all work. If you look at the world, we are all working. For what? Some work for money, some for wealth, prosperity, name, fame, control over others. So these are the different motivations. Work is done, but motivation is different. So this man works with various motives. There cannot be any work without any motive. And motivation is a propelling force. I will be the senator. So there is motivation. And that motivation pulls into action. And action, whatever we see, it is our experience of life, how everyone is engraced. And it's a tremendous power. Whole life is dedicated for that purpose. To become a senator, to become a political leader. And someone says, I will be a monk. And that's a motivation. Trying to fulfill that desire. Motivation is the force behind all our actions. So he says that without any motive, we do not work. Some people want to get fame, and they work for that fame only. Others for money, and they work for money. Others want to have power, and they work for power. Other wants to go to heaven, and they work for the same. People say that by doing charity I will go to heaven. So people give away their money to go to God, go to heaven, for heavenly joy. So motivation should be behind for reaching any goal. So, but we are all working for things which are mundane, which are momentary. But if it is done, and the end result when you get, suppose someone is whole life is motivated for making money. Okay, let that person be a millionaire, maybe billionaire. Okay, what then? What next? And that motivation gave him $1 billion. Then what? When he dies, when the $1 billion will go? He cannot take the $1 billion with him. So dissatisfaction will remain. I earned so much and it is left behind. What for? So now, can we do something that should be, that not asking for these petty small things? First, we have to work with a desire, with this motivation and thinking that I want money. Okay, I want power. I will be controlling, ruling this country, that country. That power. The whole world politics goes on power control, no? Who's jurisdiction, who is going to control that country, this country. So it is that power, they are working, but that is not the end of spiritual journey. Others want to, even not in this world, after death I will be in the heaven. So they be austere, they become charitable, they become kind, but they get the same result, of course. Others want to leave a name, and when they die, others work as a penance, do all sorts of wicked things, then erect a temple or give something to the priests to buy them off and obtain from them a passport to heaven. No? Giving some charity, people think all the way ultimately will reach the heaven. So, but such are some of the various motives of the work. So we work normally, ordinary people work for these motivations. But work for work's sake, here comes the freedom. I don't want anything, it is to be done, I did it. So while doing, you are free. At the end of your doing whatever, you are free. Whatever comes, you accept. As a devotee you can say, it is all Lord's grace, I accept everything. And whatever good has come, good is good, bad is bad, I don't care for it. So when you don't care for anything, then we are free. But when we care for it, then we are bound. We want it, I want it, I want it. But things will come. That is the major thing, that there are, effect will come. Good action will bring good fruits. Good results will come. But that is dissatisfaction will still continue. Desireless, I don't want anything, that brings the freedom. That is to be understood. Very, very subtle point is there. Desire and desireless work. See, desireless is, I don't want to fulfill any desire. I have no desire for anything. Means what? I don't want anything mundane. I don't desire for anything means these things available in the world or in the heaven, I don't care for that. If someone can say, that person is free, what can make him frightened? There is what in the world, what can make anyone create any anxiety for him? I don't care for anything in the world. That's a boldness, that's a power. That's why the power of desirelessness. If one can say, I desire nothing, what is Swami says, let go thy hold, sannyas in bold. So Om Tat Sat Om. And don't hold to anything. Get it, do it, let go. And then it will come to you, it will follow you. But this is the power, this is not weakness. Desirelessness is a power. It can give the power of freedom and nothing to worry. You will be totally established in the state of perfect peace, because you don't care for anything mundane which comes and goes. So you are not desiring anything means you are desiring the highest. Anything in the limited level of created universe has its limitation. When one can boldly say, I don't care for anything in the world, or even in the heaven, because heaven is small. Even heaven is small. And here it is all tiny, tiny. But beyond all this, what is there? Our real nature. That is the desirelessness. So Holy Mother said, if you can become desireless, your realization is here and now. Now is your realization. We are all bound. Why? Because we desire. And we desire is always limitation. Desire means what? I have not that, I will be happy with this fulfillment. But when we can say, I don't care this little something, because it will not satisfy me. With the experiment of life, if we go on, we see no one is satisfied in anything in the world, any accomplishment. A person who has no money, if he gets a good home, that's happy. But then after getting that home, they will find something bigger home. And then getting that, something bigger. And more and more and more, because we are infinite, we cannot stop anywhere. What to desire? Whatever you desire, it is limited. And that's why it says, don't desire anything. You will be the king, queen of the world. Who became the king and queen of the world? Buddha or Christ, they became the king of the world, no? Penniless beggar, they have no position. Buddha was not recognized when he was a prince. He has so much wealth and prosperity and all this fun and joy of life. He was not known as Buddha. Buddha, we know Buddha, who is all say, I don't desire for anything. Trishna, tanha, this thirst for things should be abandoned. And he did it, and he showed, and he was the king of the spiritual wisdom. No? So this is the desireless. Sometimes we have to understand. We feel that shall we be loser if I become desireless? I am desireless means what? I don't want anything small. I want what is infinite, what is unchangeable. Desiring anything in the world with motivation and action, it brings suffering and cycle of birth and death again and again. Any achievement, any accomplishment brings frustration again, and there is competition. So desirelessness is a great philosophy of life. To make the life peaceful, with action, mind it, not inaction. Some people say, okay, I don't desire anything, then I become a fossil. No, I don't work anything. No, they're the hardest working people. They will do day and night their work. Say Swami Vivekananda. Worked hard, day and night working for the good of others, no? And perfectly desireless. Don't expect anything. People will praise or blame. How many people praised? How many people blamed? It didn't bother Vivekananda. It didn't bother Christ or Buddha. How many people praised them or how many people blamed them? But they are the lamp of light, pole star in our life, because they were desireless. We appreciate them. We appreciate the people who are desireless, who does not think of themselves, desire for their own, no? They desire for the good of all. So that is the journey we have to do. Our actions should be directed in such a way that we can reach that state of desirelessness. Action, very strongly active person, very busy person, most busy person, but at the same time like a free soul enjoying every breath of life. Whether at the end the result comes, good comes, he is happy, bad comes, he is happy. That's why Gita says, Sukhe dukkhe swame kritva labha labhu jaya jayu. In gain and loss, in good and bad, auspicious, his mind remains undisturbed. Because whatever action I did my best, hands up. Did my action, hands up. And action, not inaction, not laziness, but full of activity, at the same time full of freedom. Work for work's sake. There are some who really are the salt of the earth in every country, who work for work's sake, who do not care for name or fame or even to go to heaven. They work just because that will bring good to the world. There are others who do good to the poor and help mankind from a still higher motives because they believe in doing good. Unselfishness is more paying. Unselfishness is more paying. Only people have not the patience to practice it. We think that being selfish, those who are always engaged in there for their own me and mine, they live in a very small life. And there is so much pain and agonies in that. And those who are unselfish people in the world, look at their life. Those who are thinking of the good of others and feeling the suffering of others, they live, Swami Vivekananda says, those who live for others only. The unselfishness. Unselfishness is more paying. Only we have to know the patience to practice it. Who can work for 5 minutes without thinking of the future or of heaven, of punishment, of anything of the other kind, has in him the capacity to become a powerful moral giant. So, Swami says, if for 5 minutes we can think of others, forgetting ourselves. Only for others. As the mother loves the baby, forgetting herself. So for others, if one can do little bit, that will create a gigantic willpower in that person and will start creating a character of the person. It is the great manifestation of power. This tremendous self-restraint is a manifestation of the greater power than all outgoing actions. This restraint. Not me first, but thee and thou. Not me. Always the whole world says, me first. And the rest will be later on. No, this opposite way. Me last, everyone first. Because they are my representatives. So I have to work incessantly for that good of others, helping others. Even in our life, whatever duty comes, do that duty. Only don't expect anything at the point. Focus your attention, do your duty, and have the courage to be witness. Hands up. We do even if we give some little gift to somebody, we expect that I will get a good acknowledgement, I will be good praise. Hello, you give, thank you so much, thank. Why you expect of thanking? When you expect thanks, then you are bound. Because if the thanks don't come, then you will be suffering. So why that? Why not be desireless? I give it and let my right hand give, and what is the right hand, left hand will know what the right hand did, no? That should be the desirelessness. I am to give, I come here to give, not to take. Look at the whole nature. Whole nature is giving. And only we people sometimes are so looking at our own petty ideas to hold on to here and here and here. So do every action again and again. Swami Vivekananda in his speech says that build up your character, and all outgoing energy following a selfish motive is frittered away. It will not cause power to return to you. Suppose a rain falls, heavy rainfall comes, and the water splashes all over. And from the top of the mountain, the water gushes down, and it creates mudslides and damage and danger, no? Now put a dam, what will happen? It is a restraint, not frittering away the energy with desires. I want to this, I want this, I want this. Have a goal. Do your work. Put a restraint. I don't want to think about the result now. Let me work hard, forgetting the result. And then that is the power, and it will come back. Then you can create a reservoir, water reservoir, you can drinking water, you can create what you call the hydroelectric power, irrigation. All this can be utilized for good purpose. So it is a self-restraint. Restraint means desire, desire, desire. No, no desire. I'm the master of myself. I did it. What is to be done? And my hands are off. That's a great power. So Swamiji says, the all outgoing energy following a selfish motive is frittered away. It will not cause power to return to you. That power which it can generate will lose that power. It will be lost. But if restrained, it will result in development of a power. This self-control will tend to produce a mighty will, a character which makes a Christ or a Buddha. Swamiji is talking in the highest level, but will create a saint of you, create a saint of us, if we can only forget ourselves and think of others, and no expectation, keep the freedom. I am only karmani eva adhikaro. I am entitled to do the work, whatever my duty demands. It has come, and hands off. Demand, again another duty, do, hands off. And you see, while action, you are free. At the end, you are free. So, how the mind can be made peaceful, how the mind can be made tranquil, this is the way, by working. But we have to understand, we are not in the same level. So, but we have to begin from the beginning to take up the works as they come to us, slowly, and make ourselves more unselfish every day. It every day's process. Work unselfishly every day. Let us do practice from today, that every day whatever comes, let us be open to it, do our duty, hands off. Praise or blame, I don't care. I am to do the thing I have done. And keep the freedom to yourself. Why we give our freedom to others? Someone will praise me, someone will blame me. If praises, I am in the high heaven. If blames me, I go into depression. Why? Why you give the freedom to others to control you? That's why it says, don't desire, don't expect their praise and blame. You be the master of yourself. So that is the teaching of this ideal of unselfish activity. This is power. So we have to start from where we are, and gradually it can lead us to higher and higher levels. We must do work and find out the motive power that prompts us. First, what motive? Selfishness, selflessness. What is the motive? Money making, or money making for the good of others. Your service for the good of others. What is the motivation behind? Ascertain that, and almost without exception, the first years we shall see that all our motives are always selfish. And gradually this selfishness will melt by persistence, till at last we come to the time when we shall be able to do a really unselfish work. Then let us start where we are. From wherever we are, try to be unselfish. And that is a power. That power is a blessings, and that will return in our heart as a source of peace and joy. And that will bring freedom, that will give us a new light to see the world in a different perspective. There is the presence of God will be revealed. The joy of the presence of the real ultimate truth will be realized in our every pore of our body, in our every perception, and that freedom comes from there. So that is the power, and we can generate that power, but we will have to start at certain point, and we are therefore not to be frustrated, but we can expect that if we can practice this, gradually we can be a person of gigantic willpower, and that willpower which will be able to make us free from all bondage. Thank you all.
Wherever place life's path does lead, with every breath my heart does plead for your will, may it be done. May I be one with your will. Life's many joys and sorrows I do meet, yet through each day and night I ever seek for your will, may it be done. May I be one with your will. You've given life and beauty, truth and grace. You've given love and shown to us your face. By your will, may it be done. May we be one with your will. By your will, may it be done. May we be one with your will.
So next Wednesday is a Thanksgiving Day, so there will be no class. 5 p.m. reading cancelled. Saturday there will be reading of Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna at 5 p.m. And Sunday, December 1, will be 11 a.m. Swami Medhananda will be speaking Vedanta and positive psychology. Vedanta and positive psychology. So, and more now, after this, I will be after greetings. If you have any question, we will have our question answer session here. You are welcome to come back. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Today weather is very gloomy. Weather is very gloomy. But sun is there all the time. No?
It's called Mediterranean weather.
Yeah, no, I'm saying this is giving us some philosophy of life. Apparently the weather is gloomy, but sun is there shining the same way. The sun shines in its own glory now even, though it appears to be gloomy. Yes. No, we can meditate. If no question, then we can meditate.
Before I ask my question, can you define character? The first one is character, and
Will.
pardon me.
Yes,
Can you
will.
define it? Can you use another word besides character? Because character to me is something that's already formulated from the past? Is it more like your being? Or
Yeah.
did you mean more like your being?
Yeah, that is Swami Vivekananda is saying, yes, character is built by your karma.
Or is it built by
My previous
your
karma.
parents and the way the society was, and then
Wherever.
establish your character?
Our character is built up according to our action. You do some good action, good motivation comes, good willpower comes, and internal transformation happens. Your mind moves in one direction, thinks one way. If you suppose environment may impact that, good environment, bad environment, but our action is the creator of all these things. My character is built by my actions.
What comes before character?
What kind of?
Okay, so what I
Closer,
want to do,
closer.
I want to start from the beginning, something pure, and then you have action. But I want to know from if it's from character, then it's already flawed.
Well, you say your today's action.
But if action comes from character, then action is flawed.
It is a rotating thing. Who is what? Where is the beginning? We do not know.
Yeah.
Action creates character. Character creates action. Character also gives motivation to work.
Yeah, but the foundation of character is already flawed.
That is because flaw is at the very beginning. You are Brahman. You have forgotten.
You have what?
You are Brahman, but you have forgotten.
Okay.
That's Maya, ignorance. Fundamental question is always
So
ignorance.
the action is going to be flawed too.
Everything is fraud in this
And
ultimate.
then if you take action, then it doesn't. Then you're going to make the way that the world is. It doesn't. We're going downhill, and I believe that action is the problem, and the motivation should come from inspiration, not from thought. As soon as it hits thought, it's flawed too. So
Good thought.
any thought.
Good thought will be good. First
When
go
the
for.
mind is involved, it's flawed.
That's okay. So but you cannot do
Then
without
action will
mind.
be flawed. Then the outcome will be flawed. And then then even if you give up the action to like not, if you give up the desire for a specific outcome, that's great. But it's flawed up until then, too.
That because your mind. So mind.
Right, that's
so,
thinking.
So to get out of the mind then.
But the one that you, of course,
How can you get out of the mind?
inspiration.
Where is the inspiration?
Inspiration just.
You are
comes
talking.
from
You are
the-
talking. You are talking through your mind.
I'm
The
trying
very
to-
fundamental word you are uttering.
I'm putting it into words because I'm trying. That's what we use, and I'm trying to explain
Nah.
it, and I have to use it. In
Mind is Maya. Mind is Maya.
Right, I agree.
Mind is Maya, and because of mind, that Maya, this all confusion is coming. And because of that, we are saying good, bad, these are all under Maya, not beyond Maya. If it is beyond Maya, that is the inspiration.
Right.
Inspiration is coming from the source, our divine nature. But when it comes in filters to the mind
Right.
or to the Maya, it gets polluted.
Right.
And that pollution started there.
Yes.
And then good action, bad action, first
Any action.
any action. And in that any action, we move from lower actions to the higher action, positive action, negative action.
That's all.
Again go back.
That's all the mind saying what's good and what's
So that's why you fundamentally need not have to come there. You deal with the mind then. Finish with the mind.
bad. I'm sorry.
You are to start from the mind and end in mind.
Then it's flawed.
Yeah, that's all. You have to accept the mind. Because of the mind, this confusion is coming. And this confusion is coming, mind is Maya.
Right.
To Vedanta says Maya. You are under the Maya. That's why all this. But
That's why you have desire in the first place.
desire for what?
Whatever it is.
Get out of.
Desire, if you are inspired, then you don't need desire. You could bypass desire.
Understand why you will be in Maya then? Why you will be in the mind? When you are not in the mind, you are in samadhi. You are not action. You cannot breathe. You cannot talk. Your all talks, questions, good, bad is coming in the realm of mind.
Correct.
And beyond mind is what you call inspiration, it is Satchidananda. So there is nothing duality.
Right.
So you are talking about mind and you are in the mind. So how to get out from here to that point? It is a cycle is that the mind should be clarified and mind should be made mindless.
Right.
Yeah. That karma is a path of mind, making the mind mindless.
Right.
First selfishness, then selfishness turns into unselfishness. A direction changes. And then leads to inspiration. Pure mind means there is no cloud.
Yes.
But we are under the cloud, that's the mind. And in that mind all these things are coming. Motivation, our will, our desire, our selfishness, selflessness, all these things are coming. So this is only a way to get out of the mind. Get out of the mind.
That has to start
Mind.
that has to start, but
Start where we are.
doing, I understand doing. Doing is the process, and you could enjoy yourself in the doing. And the outcome of it, you give up the exact output, whatever it's going to manifest, and you just involve yourself in the enjoyment of
Work.
your inspiration.
You term it inspiration. Inspiration, you are saying the word inspiration. You are saying, but it will not come unless you are going beyond mind. You will not understand that inspiration. We are not understanding that inspiration is coming from the pure source.
Right, I agree. That's where it comes from. That's why I'm using the word.
We are all from Brahman, but we forgot our nature.
Right,
That's
right.
why you are here.
So when we forget that we're from Brahman, the rest is flawed.
That's in a Vedantic way. But when we are in the problem, how to get out of the problem, tell me.
It's not by doing.
Yes, not by doing, that state will come.
Actually, doing makes a mess.
Oh, that you understand. You are taking another stand. Yes, anything you do, it creates a mess. But you have no choice. You are where you are, you have to move from there to that plane of doubt-free condition.
Right. Right.
So the process is this. No one has gone that state without doing good karma, charitable activity, meditation, prayer. This is all mind, acting on the mind. Without those are also actions. Meditation is an action. Meditation, you are thinking in your mind, it's an action.
Right.
So you cannot get out of action. You are talking, it is an action. Your questioning is an action. Response is coming, is an action. So all are happening in the level of duality.
Right.
So we have to start. We are here. That is ideal condition. His mind is gone. But how it will go in a moment? Mind creates all this action, creates mess. True. But action also can be done. A mess can be cleared up so that action desireless action can take it upward. Desireful action bringing it down.
How about non-action?
Non-action is impossible unless you are in samadhi.
There's the willpower. You have the will, and that will could also say no action.
No. Will be that. Will means what? A force. Will is a force.
Right. You could say, if you have clarity of thought or clarity of what you see, you could see eventually this will make a mess. Like if I become a politician, no matter what, I'll make a mess even if I have the right intentions. So you choose not to because it's better to just be maybe a nobody, and that would serve the world better than thinking that you have to have action and be a somebody.
Okay, good. Okay, yes.
Thank you. So I just wanted to make, can I comment as well on your discussion? Like some thoughts? about character and karma and action. How I understand what you said, Swami.
Again, slowly and loud.
I want to make a few comments on action and character and karma, the way I understand it, and after
Yeah, please
I'm
tell.
going to ask my question. So
Okay.
I was listening to you and to our guests here as well, and I think that the point of inspiration, character, and karma, and the action is, the problem is not the action. The problem is that the action is not desireless.
Good. Yeah.
So that what creates the mess.
Right.
So, and the point of our discussion now, right, is that you asked about politics or about like, what is the point of doing if probably it's better not doing? But we know the karma is action because every second of our being here, we anyway need to act. And that's what Swami Vivekananda taught us. So
Right.
we're acting by sitting here, we're acting by talking, everything is action. And
Yeah.
non-action is action as well. But the point is what's behind. So that's how I understand it. So if your non-action is led by your desirelessness, and you're constantly absorbed in Brahman, and you know that there is your karma now to perform, not action, then there is a truth for me. And when you perform the action, and you're in the moment concentrated, forgetting about past and present, doing the action, then do the action, like Gita says, do what you need to do, and perform your karma. Because if you're the warrior, your karma is to be the warrior. If you're someone else, you're someone else. So that's how I would interpret your discussion now, that the problem is not action itself in the modern mess of the world. Because only if you know what is desireless action, then you can clearly see if this person performs from which source. And for me, that is kind of, like how I would interpret.
Yes, I think that is correct.
Yeah.
Action is not the problem. Problem is the attitude, how we do the work.
Yeah.
You see, in our order Ramakrishna mission, you go to India, we will have tremendous activity. Every monk is doing action. Running school, running colleges, hospitals, dispensaries, relief work, social development, women's empowerment by training them. So much activity is going on. And doing this work with the motivation that they are doing, it is for the Lord we are doing, some motivation. That is not for me, not for my any name and fame or my anything. If they can do, they become a liberated soul. And the same action is going on in every department. Government department does more schools. Government runs more schools and colleges and hospitals rather than a private sector like Ramakrishna order in India does. But here, working in the same hospital with same patients, with the same type of nurses and doctors and interacting with them, one monk is becoming a realized soul and another is bound in the mire of money and wealth and all selfishness, no? So it is, the action is not the point. The motivation behind the action is the point.
Yeah, I agree. And I wanted to ask you about samadhi, like your personal intake.
Samadhi.
Yeah, like your personal reflection on samadhi nowadays.
Yeah. Samadhi is one thing. Samadhi means perfect cessation of mind. Mind is thinking, the whole universe is mind. When the mind goes to sleep, let us go to sleep every day, we deep sleep we go, this world vanishes, dream world vanishes. So no conceptual world or so-called real world. It's all depending on the mind. So mind is focusing on this side. It sees the conceptual world, subtle world we call heavens and hells, etc., and the physical world of this world, no? But when the mind turns the opposite way, mind becomes pure, and then this always drops. Then what remains? That absolute reality remains. That is samadhi. When mind merges into our very foundational truth inside, which we call Brahman, we call Satchidananda, or absolute reality. So, only when the mind gets withdrawn from this world of duality, name and form, either in gross or in a subtle form, merges into that absolute, then it is the state of samadhi. There is no mind. That's why it is called a state beyond mind, beyond state of conception. And there is no two, no you, no me, no nothing, but absolute one. That is the samadhi state, and that is a merging in. But when one comes down, again he enters into the mind. And that mind shows the world differently. This world appears to be the same reality in the name and form. The samadhi is an absorption, perfect absorption of mind merging into that reality. Deep meditation. Suppose your daily meditation you are doing. When you get really good meditation, you forget your time, you forget your space, you forget where you are sitting, how long you sat. If it is a deep meditation, suppose intensify that deep meditation 1,000 times, million times. Total absorption into your own self.
So basically, it means that
Perfect annihilation of your small
yeah.
body-mind ego complex.
So it's interesting because, we read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna or Swami Sarvadevananda or all the stories from the past, right? Samadhi always described as, for example, Master went to the Samadhi for a week, right? And he was just fully absorbed and disciples just brought him some water, but he didn't want to drink. So, what do you think about modern time? There are no more contemporary Sri Ramakrishnas sitting in Samadhi for a week, and in the world. Of course, there are a lot of them in the mountains. So, what would be your definition for Samadhi for the householders?
Samadhi is samadhi. If the householder's mind goes totally lost into God, totally absorbed in God, samadhi experience will be the same for everyone. But Ramakrishna, being an incarnation, he has done so much spiritual practice, he can switch at any split second. But in our ordinary life, one time enough is in whole life will be enough for ordinary people like us. Because purity of the mind to come to that level, when mind will be no mind. Mana amana bhavanti. Upanishad says, your mind will be as if it is no mind. So that is the state where perfection will come. Any one of us can have it. But that purity of the state of mind is to be achieved. And ordinary people cannot stay there for long. If they go on, stay, then come back. But great people who have the mission for the good of the world, they come down. Like Buddha, attain to that state of bodhisattva. It meaning that state which is beyond all duality. So, samadhi experience will be same for all of us. Anyone in an household life, it is possible. But bhakta, the devotee, don't want to merge into that reality. They want to enjoy sweetness.
Thank you.
Yes, Ramakrishna said, I don't want to be sugar. I want to taste the sugar. Keeping a little separation. Almost merging, keeping yourself little away to feel the infinite ocean of joy. So that is the purpose of them. So that we know what happens. But experience will be same for all. Matters little. That time there is no one is a holy, no one is unholy. That duality, what he was talking about, gone. Yeah?
So the last question, do you personally know people who experience samadhi?
Yes.
Okay, and how would you describe them?
They look like us. They talk like us. But they are always in bliss.
Are those people from Vedanta society, or it's like...
I have seen, at least we can say in our Vedanta societies, in India, many sadhus. Here also, many have experienced that Swami, who is the founder of this Vedanta society, Swami Prabhupada. So many, Asheshananda in Portland, there are many Swamis who are actually attained to that state. We believe that. And their life shows that. Their life, their movement, and their impact on other people. Their impact, you cannot forget their impact. And it is always uplifting. It takes us towards God. And their presence, you can feel that your mind is uplifted. In their presence, all thoughts become holy thoughts.
Thank you.
Okay. So we can now meditate a little bit.